Hello and welcome to Santiago del Estero as we get set for this Group C matchup here on game day number 2 as we see Biguá taking on Minas. Carlin Gay alongside Andrew Hunt, and Andrew, day number 1 came right down to the wire. If day 2 is anything like game number 1, we are in for a good one between these two teams.
Right, I'd hope to see just a little bit more action in the first half. We had a hard time getting started, but things were definitely excited in the second yesterday. Biguá has a great core that played well, even though they weren't on the floor together all that much due to foul trouble. So it'll be interesting tonight to see if we can see a little more dose of that big man right there, Tavares. He definitely had short minutes due to foul trouble, along with Cunningham was another big guy for Biguá that didn't get to play as much due to sitting on the bench for fouls. So we'll see if they get to keep that core in together longer, kind of see what they can do.
Yeah, Tavares and Cunningham both fouled out in game number 1 against Kimsa, but the good news for Biguá, they walked away with a 2-point victory. They had to clutch their pearls a little bit as Kimsa had a shot at the end of that game to win it on a 3-point attempt that just went off the mark. So Biguá 1-0 so far in Group C, and they get off to the right foot. And now they try to make it 2-0 this weekend, Andrew, against a team in Minas coming out of Brazil who has an enviable spot of being able to study Biguá the night before they actually take care of business on home court.
Yeah, they got a chance to see both teams in their group, see what they do. Minas is the team we haven't seen play yet in Group C. They have a decent regular season record, and they'll get a team that just played last night, but as I said, due to that foul trouble, still may be relatively fresh. Nobody with crazy minutes. I mean, Andre Spite and Nicholas Catala, both the guys that led in minutes, but those are a couple guys that I feel like when you see them on the court, they could probably run all day and not get tired. So we'll see what that means here this evening.
Here's Minas' starting 5. You mentioned a great record in their domestic league. They are 13-2. This Minas squad out of Brazil. Scotty Machado will be a player that we'll keep our eye on as a starting point guard for this Minas squad, led by Leo Costa, the head coach, has his team rolling. The best team right now in the Brazilian National League, 1 game ahead of Flamengo. On the other side, the starting 5 for Biguá. Pop it up into your screen right now. We have the opportunity to see this team again. Back-to-back nights. How are those legs going to handle playing back-to-back? A game that had a little bit of stress at the end of it. A lot of free throws for Biguá, and left the door open for Kimsa to come in and steal victory, but they're able to walk away. A win's a win's a win, they say. Tavares and you mentioned Cunningham both dealing with foul trouble in game number 1. They fouled out 5 fouls apiece. Can they keep their hands out of the cookie jar tonight? That will be the question. Led by, of course, Nico Mazzarino, head coach from Biguá, getting his team in the win column in Group C in the first weekend of the Basketball Champions League of Americas here in 2025. Yes, folks, it is already 2025 season here in the BCLA. We play on the home floor tonight of the defending champions, Kimsa, who many expected to start strong. They fell last night to Biguá, who will be wearing the blue uniforms. Minas wearing the home white. As we await the clock to get set, and we'll have the opening tip. Andrew, I'll ask you first before we get things going here. You saw Biguá play last night. Is there one particular thing they could clean up to make sure they walk out of here with 2 victories instead of splitting the difference?
Well, something they probably hope to not have to deal with was a little bit of time and ball management at the end of the game. If you're winning by 10, that's not as much of a concern. Last night they had a couple things that made me grimace. I'd definitely be stressing if I was their coach. Maybe a turnover that led to an opportunistic shot for Kimsa. The Kimsa converted a big 3 on that I think brought it down to a 4-point lead with still a minute left last night. So hope to avoid some of that kind of thing.
Yeah, they had 16 turnovers but they walked away with the victory. Off we go. Biguá with the first possession. Tavares, who had foul trouble last night, on the block, using the pivot. Soft double comes. He throws it up anyway, but he's off the mark on the first shot attempt. A rebound pulled down by Montero. So first possession
Tavares
now
is
for
low
Minas.
down there on that low block.
He is. Foul line jumper knocked down. And that's the first 2 of the tournament for Alessandre Guerreros.
I'll remember the name. I appreciate his defense so far, and that mid-range jumper was silky.
It sure was. 4 to shoot. The floater's there, and it's good. Barrosi, the captain, knocking down the floater that time. A 3 on the way. That's off the mark. And that's vacuumed in by Tavares.
Yeah, the big thing that Tavares and Cunningham add to this team, aside from points, is their rebounding ability. Oh, nice cut, but that was a big thing missing with the foul trouble last night. So them staying in the game can really help out in multiple facets.
Rafa Mineiro off the mark on that 3-point jump shot. Offensive rebound, Machado. Here's another 3 on the way, and that one's good.
Oh.
Danilo Ferrazio with a 3.
Now, if I see him in the gym shooting, it almost looks like he shoots his shot on the way down. Most good shooters shoot at the apex of their shot. We'll keep an eye and see if that's a regular shooting for him.
All 5 points from that man right there as Barbosi drills the triple. Ties the game at 5. A wild floater by Montero. Gets his own miss. A steal. Barbosi. He'll push. Another 3 on the way. A lot of long balls coming to start this game as Machado rebounds. Excuse me, that's Montero. He'll take a 3 and drill.
Hey.
8-5 in favor of Minas 3 minutes into the game, and a lot of threes raining down here so far in the opening minutes of this contest. First for Minas, second for Biguá. That's good defense that time. Opportunity for Minas to run, but turnover in transition.
That's hurtful. You've got a 2-on-1, possibly 3-on-2 break, and you just throw it out.
Those are some of the turnovers that Biguá actually had in game number 1. Is that 3 off the mark? A foul called. Loose ball foul will go the other way. 16 turnovers for Biguá in game 1. Minas had to see that and lick their chops and say, hey, we can get out in transition, but they got to convert when they get into transition.
Yeah, a turnover is the worst thing you have in something like that. At least a shot on the basket, even if you don't make it, really in a transition, I'd like, used to be you want a good look at a layup. These days, if you get an open 3, you'll probably take that as well. But yeah, just throwing it out of bounds, no good.
Machado finding his way to the rim gives Minas a 5-point advantage. There's good defense there by Mineiro until he fouled. So Rafa Mineiro will pick up his first foul.
See, Cunningham does a good job. When he gets the step, he gets deep onto the block. Mineiro catches up, walls up pretty well. Cunningham has a good counter. He's the guy I like to watch on that low block. He has good footwork. I'll probably point out a few things that he does throughout the game here that I know he did last night that really set him up for success.
So Josh Cunningham toes the line, started his collegiate career at Bradley and transferred to Dayton and had 3 very successful seasons for the Flyers. An A-10 all-conference third-teamer his last 2 seasons with the Flyers. Spent some time with the Westchester Knicks, but has played and got his passport stamps all over the world, and now plying his trade with Biguá here in the BCLA. He is 4 for Minas. A little block. That's good footwork. Counted in the foul. Tavares, you mentioned it. You would like to see a little bit more of him in tonight's game. If you stay out of foul trouble, to do a lot of this.
Yeah, like I said, he's one of the bigger guys we're going to see in the tournament. 6'11". I want to say we thought he was 270. He's a big guy.
And we mean that in the best possible way, of course.
Yeah, strong. Mountain of a man.
Immersed three-point play makes it a 1-point game as we're approaching the halfway mark of the first quarter. It's a good first step. Oh. Great block there by Tavares coming over to negate that dunk attempt. Cunningham's pass, and that's a near turnover. Bad decision that time by Cunningham. He'll inbound with 17 seconds on the shot clock. Tavares stepping up for 3. How about that? It's off the mark, and Monero will vacuum in the rebound.
Not sure if that's the shot I want.
Browder knows. Drills a 2. We saw him hit at the nail this time on the angle, and he now has 4. Cunningham, Tavares, 2-man game. Tavares for 3, splash.
Definitely getting off to a hotter shooting percentage for both sides than what we had yesterday evening. And it keeps going.
You mentioned his jump shot is pretty. It is pitcher-esque. 3 for 3 to start this game. There's the shooting percentages that you mentioned. A much better start for Biguá, who shot just 39% from the field last night in their win.
And they had the better shooting percentage in the first half of last night's game, if that tells you anything.
It was a rock fight, we'll say. Tavares comes away with the steal. Cunningham ahead. A 3-on-1 opportunity for Biguá. It's Tavares with the hammer. Five points for the big man. And allow 2 on his last shot attempt. Mid-range jumper not there. Whistle blows. Will stay here on the loose ball foul. Let's take a look at Tavares' showtime.
Yeah. Run the floor, you get some showtime. 12 didn't want no part of it. Look at it. Let me just get out of the way here.
Want to end up on a poster. Arango into the game for Minas. He replaces Hollowell. Machado for 3. In and out. Ball loose. Cunningham has it. Raleigh for 3. That's short. Raining threes here early on. The team struggling to find the range. Spate with the offensive rebound. That shot not there. Spate with another opportunity for an offensive rebound, and his hustle is going to get rewarded as a foul is called. We'll stay here with Minas basketball. Machado will sit first time tonight. Lucasi picks up his first foul as Rodriguez, 10 and white, into the game. Both teams going into their bench. In these back-to-back situations, always interesting to see the team that actually played last night. A team that has not played, that hasn't really got their legs underneath them. In Minas, matching sub for sub.
Yeah, you said it. You think about the, let's see what kind of popcorn we have playing here. But you mentioned that you think about fresh legs, playing the night before, you may be tired, but you alluded to the fact that sometimes, I know as a player, I kind of felt good getting that first game out of the way and, you know, maybe feeling like I'm not worried about jet lag or travel or whatever. I've had a night to play, settle in, and get to play again, so a little more relaxed.
Good hustle underneath. And a foul is drawn.
Yeah, 2 possessions in a row with one of the smallest guys on the floor getting the rebound.
There is Jermaine Hollowell. Aranos will pick up his 2nd foul. So he was someone that was finding the stroke on the offensive end. Now has to think about being a little bit conservative, maybe defensively, as Espinosa knocks down the first free throw.
Yeah, Espinosa was pretty pivotal in the end of last night's game, sealing the deal for. Had a pretty costly turnover, but then hit a pretty clutch three to help extend it out of the reach of Kimsa.
As you mentioned, Espinosa, strong game, 16 points. Was perfect from the foul line. In his domestic league, he's shooting 70% from the free throw line. So far here in 2 games, or at least 1 game in almost a quarter of action in Group C in the BCLA. He's been perfect from the foul line. I'm getting that out of the way now so that the jinx could leave and not plague him when he gets to the line the next time.
They probably won't get fouled the rest of the game. He won't even be on the line. He'll have to finish 100% because of that.
I'll take it. Better for me. 5 to shoot. On the step back 2. No good. All batted around. Here's Espinosa now. A little showtime there by Spite. Good block. And it's going to be over and back as Cunningham's trying to, or excuse me, that is Spite trying to contest that. It was tapped. That's very close.
Yeah, I think he gained possession still in the front court. So even though it was tapped, you got to the ball. If you let it go into the back court, then you probably have an argument. But that's my point of view on that one.
On the drive, missed the layup. And I agree with you. I thought he did touch it in the front court. So, correct call in our opinions from the officials. Here's Aranio, who got fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
For any of the Biguá fans watching, it was a terrible call. It's awful. Totally wrong call.
Puts them over the limit. 5th foul called that time on Ducasi. Aranio with a rare miss at the foul line. He's an 85% free throw shooter this season in the Brazilian National League. His first free throw in the BCLA. Bad miss. 1-point game, Minas in front. It's a good drive and finish.
Wow.
I mentioned Espinosa had a big game in game number 1 against Kimsa, picking up right where he left off. High low pass. It's going to be a turnover.
Yeah, and even though Biguá got the win last night, I would say they definitely look more crisp and together so far in tonight's game.
Yeah, 4 turnovers so far for Minas. start the game. Not the way they want to start the tournament. Spike, jab step, now looking to dance. And Biguá with their second turnover of the quarter.
Spike's in a tough position. You could finish that
saying
thought?
The same thing. Yeah, no, go ahead. We were saying the same thing.
Spike seems like he's really trying to get established in the game, but see, this is the good way to do it. Get this steal. See if you get a shot. Good look. Oh.
It's going to stay here, looking for Biguá.
Yeah, it seems, but to finish that thought before the steal by Spike there is on the previous offensive possession, you can see he's what I call patting the rock a little bit, trying to see if he can get something open. Kind of an ill-advised shot there. He's wanting to get things going. It's tough when you know that you're probably going to need to score some points for your team to be successful, but they're really closing out on him hard, and he's been finding pretty good passes so far. But at some point, you're kind of like, man, I need to get something on the board.
Ananio for three at the buzzer, off the mark, and that's how we'll end the first 10 minutes of play here on game day number 2, Group C action. Biguá leads by 1 after 1. Opportunity for us to take a look at the stats from the first 10 minutes of play. Biguá shooting much better from the field than they did in their win just last night. They only lead by 1 point. We take a look at some of the best pictures and moments from the first quarter. Start of the second quarter underway. Biguá lead by 1. Biguá in the blue uniforms. Minas in the white. Second game of Group C action for Biguá, coming off of a 2-point victory over the defending BCLA champions, Kimsa, last night, escaping after a 3-pointer at the buzzer was off the mark. Looking to go 2-0 here in the first phase of this Basketball Champions League of Americas. That's a good rebound inside. Unable to put it back up and in as Biguá will clear. Enter the front court. Espinosa got things going when he popped off the bench midway through that first period. That's good offense that time. And flipped up and in. Ducasi.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a beef with how Kimsa ended the game. Maybe I'll have a chance to talk about it a little more. Obviously, at the end of the game, it was time to wrap things up, but we'll see if we get time to discuss a little bit later.
No question. We'll always have time for that. 3-pointer off the mark that time. LES will vacuum it in. A lot of dribbling on this possession. Long three falls on Luis Montero. As he says, Carlin, be quiet. I'm just getting ready and into my offense.
Are there any players that chose not to play because of the date? Anybody?
Right now, Minas is probably questioning whether or not, and there is a date situation here, the way they've been shooting the rocks so far. That shot was an air ball. Could have been date related as well. Holloway drives inside. Arano kicks it out. Now Holloway looking to post. That's a strong move. Jeremy Holloway for two. Anytime you can get your guards to post and take advantage of the size mismatch, certainly makes offense a lot easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're never too small to post, but then again, with you'll notice a lot of the American players that may play a guard position, size-wise, they may be closer in height to some of the 4 and 5 men, so they're likely to be versatile down there.
Silva, who had a very short stint, gets replaced by Minero. Five to shoot.
It's a good post opportunity.
A good fall-away jump shot that falls.
You can see there he had the help. Yeah, he had the help on his, what would have been his right side towards the free throw line. And that was a nifty little move to just kind of lean back, fade away like Dirk Nowitzki to avoid any kind of double team or hands in the cookie jar.
Holloway shot off the mark, and last touch they say by Minas, so it's Biguá basketball. Check that. They said it's a loose ball foul on Elias from Minas. So the tie game, Biguá in the front court. Kasi, 5 in blue. Had the last couple opportunities. Made some good possession moves, but that time turned it over. Montero gets fouled before the move, so it's on the floor.
Yeah, you can tell they're kind of shading towards Ducassi there. I still thought he had a chance to potentially take a look at the basket on that last possession, but poor pass out there for the turnover.
Holloway, plenty of space on that side of the floor, goes to work, and he's fouled. We'll go to the line for two. San Renato with the foul that time. And the rare player exception of the foul. Didn't argue, said, hey, that was me. I own it. So Jeremy Hollowell, who spent a couple of years at the University of Indiana, then transferred to Georgia State University, where he was second team All Sun Belt in his senior season. Played for the Erie Bayhawks in the G League and then began to bounce around the globe. Spent some time in Mexico, winning the MVP in that league. Israel, back to Mexico, and he's been in Brazil for the last couple of years now. And one of the leading scorers on this Minas squad, averaging 9.9 points per game so far this season domestically. Corner three, that's off the mark. A quick push the other way as Machado back into the game. Nice pass. As Montero with the finish, and that's going to lead to a quick timeout. Transition defense, a problem that time. Minas takes advantage. And they are starting to roll here in the second quarter. And Coach Zano wants to talk about it. Here it is.
Yeah, Biguá's looking a little tired, maybe a little lackadaisical on defense. So probably a good idea, take a timeout, try to kill the momentum, and also give a breather to my guys, talk things over, see if we can regroup.
4-point game with 6:37 remaining here in the second quarter. And Andrew, you wanted to talk about the way that Biguá ended the game last night. They did win. They weren't really happy with the way things went. FIBA Women's America 2025 around the corner. Can't wait for that. So we teased before that promo and how Biguá ended the game. A lot to be desired.
Well, yeah, really my beef was more with Keemsa. Biguá did really what they needed to. They had a couple turnovers or whatever. That was pretty apparent. But at the end of the game, the very end, last possession, Keemsa down 2 with something like 20 seconds, 24 seconds, somewhere in there. And they let the clock run all the way down, take the last shot. I mean, to me, you try to get a bucket, tie, foul, and take. You may have had 3 chances at a playing offense. Send the other team to the line twice, and you have a chance at 3 shots. To me, I just want to extend my time and see if I can pull something out or get a shot. Now, if I can tie the game and they miss their free throw, now I'm taking last shot because I can't lose. I could win or go to overtime. So that was just my one thing there and I said it in real time, so I don't feel like I'm being a Monday morning quarterback, to use that
No, not at
expression.
all. And especially the way that Biguá was shooting in that game, like from the field, they shot 39%, a lot better from the free throw line. They were 73% from the foul line, but still not perfect, right? Like that is by no means a guarantee that you step to the line and knock those free throws down. As you mentioned, you want to extend the game in that situation. So on the same page with you in that regard. Let's see if Keemsa can learn from that mistake. We'll see them tomorrow night against Minas here on their home floor. And match day 3 in this Group C phase. But right now, Biguá with business at hand, down 4, halfway through the second quarter, at 3 off the mark. Starters back into the game for Biguá. Margosi moves it. A little far side. That's a strong move. Not much Usado could do other than foul.
He's got help, and the clock is on his side. Cunningham only has 3 seconds to get a shot off. And so, I don't know, you got to kind of have that in your head of, here's how much time I have. All I need to do is force you to make another move, because now, the pressure's on you to make it before the shot clock. So don't like that foul. And then, like I said, he had help. Even if you didn't have help, you just slide a little bit there. It wasn't really a great angle for Cunningham. He didn't really have a good angle for the glass, but good on him for making a strong move. Sometimes you get people into a fouling situation just by doing that.
Cunningham has played well this season for Biguá in the domestic league. And Uruguay is averaging just over 17 points per game, pulling down 6.5 boards. Shooting 64% from the field. Machado on the jab. Open 3, Monero can't get it to go. Montero with the offensive rebound, and he'll go to the line. Luis Montero's come into this game and affected it with his energy. It's Cunningham's second foul. Montero, 52% free throw shooter.
That's rough.
Yeah, not great. He does shoot the ball from deep effectively. And the 34% three-point shooter this season. He's knocked down a couple of threes so far here in this game. He's that rare player that struggles from the foul line but could hit the long ball.
Yeah, that's amazing to me. To tell me that you're only 20% better at three-pointers than you are free throws. That's a bit of a marvel.
Is it a mental thing?
I mean, yeah, probably. I don't know. Having never really struggled that much from the free throw line, keep in mind, I don't remember when I started, but I would make 100 free throws every day, literally every day. I'm talking Saturday, Sunday, I'm still at least in my driveway shooting. Because once you got pretty good, you can make those in a pretty quick amount of time. So at the minimum, that's what I was doing every day. So because of that, starting that at a young age, I always was pretty confident at the line. So I'm lucky that I never really had, I wasn't like a drop dead free throw shooter, but if I missed, I just knew, well, just shoot it like you're supposed to. There's nothing I need to change with my form or anything like that. So I don't know. And I was not a great three-point shooter, so.
You feel players today take for granted trips to the line?
Maybe because there is such an emphasis on the three-pointer behind the arc that the idea of getting 3 points, what we call the old-fashioned way, and I'm pretty old school, old-fashioned in that regard too, because the thing I always tell people is getting to the lane and getting to the free throw line, now you're putting pressure on the other team with fouls. You have your team fouls where now I can potentially shoot earlier in the game, and you as the opposing player have to watch out on how many fouls you get to even stay in the game. So to me, that's the added benefit in addition to a higher percentage shot.
The three-point shot, a struggle tonight for both teams. You saw the numbers there on the screen, not pretty. Tavares takes it down low and puts it in.
And I'm a numbers guy too, so I get the analytics. Basically the threes are at a premium, so I understand the math. I guess I like mid-range jumpers too, so it's just that's not what the statistics say. It says three-pointers are better than both.
New style of basketball for sure, and most of the world catching up. It used to be that parts of the world where we're broadcasting right now took a little longer to catch up to the style of play in North America and in Europe, for that matter. There's a lot more back to the basket play, maybe even 5 years ago, than there was around the world here in South America. But the rest of the world is caught up. It feels like everybody's playing the same style of basketball, for better or worse.
I'd be willing to say even that I think that was influenced mostly by European basketball, because
no question,
I think there was more of a parity of players. You didn't necessarily have the guy like a Shaquille O'Neal that you want to get the ball every single possession. It's, hey, everybody is about as good as everybody else. We can all shoot the ball. And now you're starting to see that of more positionless basketball.
Meanwhile, Scotty Machado has found the touch, knocked down a three and then a long two on the last trip down for Minas. And that pass goes out of bounds as Mineiro thought he was being held but didn't seal properly. Made a tough angle pass there for Aranio to find him. Tavares will get a break here.
Recognize Machado. He was on a different team in this tournament last year. I'll have to see. I want to go with Halcones, but I'm not for sure on that. But we'll see. I don't know that I'll have that answer this evening, but sometime before the tournament's over, I will have figured out where he's from last year.
Yeah, Scotty Machado, an American player who, also holds a Brazilian passport, playing for Minas this season, and as you mentioned, has had some time around the world, including the United States. That's a great move by Machado, just missed it. Grew up in Queens, New York. Machado has played in Australia, Brazil, Spain, Estonia, and was in this tournament a year ago with Flamingo.
Nah, I was off. Nah.
Meanwhile, Monero at the foul line drills the first free throw to extend the lead here for Minas. $1:25 left on the clock. Closing quarters always so important, but halves just as important to try and go into the locker room with some level of momentum. And Biguá realizing that, so they'll take a timeout to make sure that they get a good look at the net here.
Yeah, they're speaking of momentum. Biguá really started this game off looking to do well, but Minas, they seem right there on the edge of if they can finish out this half without too much fight from Biguá, they come out in the second half and start off, have a good start. That could mean kind of a long night for Biguá.
Well, turnovers were an issue for Biguá last night. 16 of them. They were able to walk away with a victory in their game against Kimsa tonight. 5 turnovers right now, leading to 7 points for Minas. Here's 2 of them.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, better on turnovers this evening because the saving grace with all those 16 last night was, like I said, Kimsa's shooting was very bad. So they weren't able to capitalize as much on those turnovers. But 7 points off of you'll notice some math that I've gone over with my previous broadcasting partner Craig is to have these just kind of benchmarks in my head, and I usually feel pretty good about if I can get 0 turnovers, that would be fantastic. But that's perfect. I'm okay with 10. So 5.5, 5 in one half. You're on pace for 10 in the game, and I usually feel confident I can win with that many turnovers.
Great Craig Feta sitting in for him today. Carlin Gay alongside Andrew Hunt. Approaching 1 minute left here in the first half. Game day 2 here in Group C action as Minas taking on Biguá. Looks like Aranio got away with a double dribble there. He'll pull up for 2 and drill it. Largest lead of the game now for Minas.
This is what I was talking about before the timeout. If I'm Minas, I just want to take good shots. I don't really want to force anything. I'm in the lead here. So just take good shots, and that was a pretty good wide open look. That's how you can really steal the momentum or keep it, I guess.
Yeah, 2-for-1 opportunity now for Minas. They can't really stick a fork in that basketball, so they'll run a set here. Hollowell looking to go to work on the block. Tough look, nice. And drills it.
Now they're going to pressure. Oh, nice. Did he get a hold of that?
Almost came up with a steal. It stays with Biguá. 7.5 seconds remaining. Minas going to get 2 quick subs here.
Yeah, we want to pressure. Yeah, you just want to pressure that ball and make sure you're going to make it difficult to get a shot up.
Minas does have fouls to give.
Oh, even better. That was perfect.
One of them. Spite is fouled. And that will force Biguá into another inbound situation. Fernandez picks up his first foul.
That's what he came in for.
Exactly why he came in. It's great coaching. Right down to the final seconds here to close this half. Almost a steal. Spite has it. You're going to have to put it up at the horn. He's fouled.
Oh,
Hollowell with a terrible foul. The only thing that could have made it worse, a 3-point opportunity. Second foul by Hollowell.
Yeah, originally I thought that was a 3, but now, yeah, I see on there. I was going to say you never shoot a 3-point, or you never shoot. you never foul a three-point shooter. And in that case, not a three-pointer, but that was just a very off-balance. I mean, that's a tough shot. And so I'm not going to give you a bailout and foul you on that.
Machado won't get it off in time. And that's how we'll end the first half. Minas picking it up to close the second quarter, going on a mini run. They have a double-digit lead after the first 20 minutes of play. It's Minas from Brazil leading 37-27 over Biguá from Uruguay. Group C action here, Basketball Champions League of Americas. Stats from the first half, a struggle from the field for both teams. And the free throw line for that matter. Minas with a 10-point advantage. The rebounding count plus 10 Minas. That's been the difference in the game. Leading scorers, Minas. Balanced scoring across the board. Ramos started the game with a couple beautifully looking jump shots. Montero got it going, and Machado found the touch from 3-point range. Minas taking a 10-point lead into recess. Strong start to this one. Andrew, what do you take away from Minas really closing that half strongly?
Well, they did make me look good after that timeout. They did exactly what I was saying you would want to do. You want to limit the amount of possessions that Biguá has for the half, because you're playing with a lead. So you're not in any rush. You should be confident. It's a telltale sign of any time that I've been on a good team with a lead, we seem to just have better possessions that we make because there's no pressure. We feel like we've got that lead, and you know, they were able to extend this out to a nice 10-point lead. I'm always happy to have a 10-point lead going into the half, because if I can keep this up, it's the same thing that applies. I can take my time, look for the good shot, and hopefully increase. The look is that your percentage increases because of that, because you're not playing with any pressure, and you're getting quality looks.
On the other side for Biguá, it really does feel, Andrew, like they played yesterday. It feels like they have some tired legs here tonight. Yeah,
and I'd love to come up with some kind of new philosophy, but for Biguá, they really have to do almost the exact same thing I just said for the leading team. The big thing when you're down is to just play as if there's no pressure. That's the only way to get back into the game. The tough balancing act there is, with a 10-point deficit, you do potentially have to pick it up. In the third quarter to start, you don't have to get it going too fast, but if you don't get a very quick start, or if Minas gets right back to where they were, you know, you get about 5 minutes into the third, and it's saying, hey, if I'm down still 10 or maybe 12, 15 points, I'm looking at now, I need a gain of like a point a minute at that point. So that's the balancing act of trying to feel as if there's no pressure, but understanding there is a little bit.
Biguá was able to hold Kimsa in game number 1 to just 31% from the field. Tonight, they are on the wrong end of it. They're shooting just 27% from the field here at the half. Something's got to change in this game if Biguá is going to make it out of Argentina with a 2-0 record here in Group C. On the other hand, Minas can continue to put the clamps down defensively. They'll have a chance to leave Argentina with a 2-0 record if they take care of business tonight and tomorrow night against Kimsa. We're at the half. We'll be back with third quarter action. It's Minas with a 37-27 lead over Biguá. We're watching the Basketball Champions League Americas 2025. Moments away from the start of the second half. Group C action here from the Basketball Champions League Americas 2025. Game day number 2. Minas leading 37-27 over Biguá. Biguá coming off of a big win last night, defeating the defending BCLA champions Kimsa on their home floor by 2. Some might say it's an escape of a victory. Victory nonetheless. They find themselves in a 10-point hole to start half number 2. Carlin Gay alongside Andrew Hunt. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Biguá in the blue uniforms. Minas in the home white. That's a good start to the second half. A strong drive as Catala legs it in first 2. Quiet in the first half was Nico Catala. Averages 11.5 points domestically for Biguá. Let's see if that gets him going here in this one. So Varys got a poke while we're running.
It's a good opportunity to try to get a good look at a basket.
Double came, and that's great hands by Machado. Machado, nice pass to Montero for 2. Montero now in double figures. There's no one stopping basketball. Machado found the open man. 8 assists for Biguá in this game. 7 for Minas. Long 3 in and out. After starting the second half on a good offensive possession, they've given up 2 easy buckets the other way, Andrew.
Yeah, you're going to have to, what I mentioned earlier is I have the scenario where if you're down 15 with 15 minutes, you have to net gain 1 point every minute. That means obviously you're not just going to go on I mean, you could go, but it's pretty rare you go on a 15-0 run to eliminate a deficit like that. And so usually if I put my coaching hat on, I'm thinking, okay, you know, like if I can hold them to 2 points in 2 minutes and I can score, you know, a 3 and a 2, that's how I make up that difference. Obviously they've got 1 basket to 2 here in the first minute 50. Not a great equation.
Not at all. And you add in the turnovers. Math seems off. It's a 7 turnover there for Biguá. It's 16 of them in their win last night. But right now it seems like if they give the ball away, Minas is going to make them pay. Machado penetrating. He floats it. And no one blocking out. Another easy 2 for Minas. That's the 3rd layup here on 3 straight possessions.
Yeah, I expect a timeout here pretty soon if we don't get something going, which I'll go ahead and wait a little longer.
So Cunningham with the drive that time. Excuse me, Spite with the drive that time. He's now up to 3 points. He's just 1 of 5 from the field. Maybe that gets him going. And you're right, it feels like this game might be slipping out of the fingertips of Biguá. As Montero with the step back 3. Minas pouring it on here in the 3rd. Rossi, his floater off the mark. Anos with the rebound, and here is Machado. Machado dribbling. Finds Montero, who has the hot hand. Oh, it's a little too hot doggish on that pass there by Machado.
Yeah, when you're playing with a lead like this, I mean, kind of a broken record from earlier is I don't need to do anything fancy, just get good looks at the basket.
Minas doing a good job of closing out on Biguá's shooters. Biguá cannot find the touch from three-point range. The shot is not going to count. Foul on the floor. Rossi picks up his first foul here in this third quarter. He decided at home. It looked like he put the basketball down again after the whistle blew. Baranes. Nice cut. Foul's going to be called. No basket. 2 shots at the line for Fusaro. We talked about Baranes' shooting touch in the first half. How about that pass?
Yeah, he's impressed me in this game, and I meant to mention at the end of the first half, I feel like we didn't see him much, and I feel like he was a pretty good part. I got to see, maybe it was a foul situation.
Yeah, he picked up the 2 fouls.
Okay.
Had him sit on the bench for an extended period of time in that first half.
He's going to be one of my early lookouts for all tournament team.
No question.
I'm making my declaration now.
It's a good call.
It's far too early to do such a thing.
It's a good call to make, though. He's playing well in his domestic league, averaging 11 points, 5 boards per game. On a team that is 13-2 in Brazil. The #1 team right now in Brazil is Baranes missing that time and then pounds the mistake with a foul. So there goes your all-tournament ticket right out the window on 2 plays.
Well, as soon as I said something about him, he gets a steal, goes down the other end, has a okay look at a little scooper of a lay in there, and then runs into the point guard. That was something we discussed last night. It's a common little trickery you'll see a lot with some of these point guards. They get the ball and they know somebody's behind them, and they'll kind of stop or change directions right into the path of this person running up. I played against the great Champ Bukaki, who did that all the time. So I'm hip to these games. That's a real person, by the way.
And so you're saying he's added fouls to your resume that you probably shouldn't have.
He added practice fouls. And luckily, he was on my team, so I learned all of the tricks.
Plenty of tricks on that shot there by Montero, but couldn't get it to drop. The transition defense here for Minas. A tough layup there by Espinoza.
Yeah, Machado does a good job. You see holding his hands up, trying to make sure he doesn't foul.
Minero for 3 off the mark. Tavares pulls it down. Biguá looking to run. And another turnover here for Biguá. Renato probably should have took the initial shot and pump faked and then found himself in traffic.
Well, and I like the one more pass to the corner. I don't know. Sometimes when I see that, I feel like someone's looking for their shot, which, I don't necessarily knock you for that. But if I've got an open guy, I'm just going to move that ball. Says a guy that wasn't that great at shooting. So, I mean, consider the source.
But when you're shooting 32% from the field as a team, it feels like maybe the entire team now is becoming a little gun shy and maybe overpassing, and that's leading to some turnovers.
I don't know if I'll ever say that.
Unselfish pass there. Probably should have went up with it. No, you don't agree? You don't agree that it could get into your head a little bit when you are shooting as poorly as Biguá is at the moment?
No, I just can't bring myself to say the term overpassing, just as a philosophical. You could be right. I just I won't say it.
Fair enough. 9 turnovers apiece now for both sides. And Minas with a 48-35 lead, and they're still pressuring on the basketball in the backcourt.
Yeah, just some token pressure to take up a little time. That was another one that I always thought was cool. I really get into the minutes and the seconds, because if I can pressure the ball in the backcourt, which again wasn't something that I was made to do. I was the big guy. I was the center. But if I can make you take an extra 2 seconds to get the ball up the court 5 times, well then, you know, that was 10 seconds. That adds up to, you know, half of a possession or half of a shot clock. So all those little 1 second here, 2 seconds there, you know, I've got some pretty radical ideas about the clock in basketball.
Heard some of them today, and the way this game's going, it feels like we'll have plenty of time to talk about some more. Holloway got fouled. It was a take foul or an unsportsmanlike foul because he was on a breakaway. They did not count the bucket, by the way. It did go through the basket, but his layup, they didn't count it. So 2 free throws and the basketball. It's a 15-point lead now for Minas as they inbound.
Yeah, they can sit right here. That's a great spot for them. Kind of alluded to it earlier, is they've got, you know, less than 15 minutes left in the game. So, and they're just going to extend the lead even more.
Yeah, Holloway with a deep 3. He drills it. He's shooting 37% from deep on the season. Minas now up to 40% from 3-point range in this game. Espinosa kicks it. That's great hands. Montero has got a couple of deflections here in this third period. There's just 5 seconds on the shot clock for Biguá to work with. In this situation, what do you play with your clock tricks? How do you work out this?
Probably just, yeah, I'm looking for that shot right there. It was a nice shot fake.
Loose ball foul is going to be on Holloway.
Yeah, with that 5 seconds, you've definitely got time, just like what we saw there, to make a move if necessary. But I'm coming to the top of the key, see if I have my shot. I'm going to sell it hard. The defender did a pretty good job. You have to close out. Can't just let him shoot.
Right.
In this particular situation, if I'm the defender, I'm probably just going to give him enough room to shoot, but with a contested shot, I kind of don't want to let him drive. It ended up okay. He didn't get a great look at a shot either way.
Contesting a shot without fouling is one of the skills, might be the most underrated skill in the game of basketball. That time, a contest there by Silva, but he did foul. But as a
I would
player,
add to that being able to box out after the fact.
Right. Playing and watching the game, you can see how much value it adds when you can just put a hand in the face of a shooter. Changes everything.
Yeah, you have to really get to some super elite players that hand doesn't mean anything. There's not many of those people. So at most levels you're going to be playing at, a hand in the face is going to affect the shot to some degree.
Montero is wide open. The find there by Hollowell. And offense has come easy for Minas here in this third quarter. 16 points and counting in the third period for Minas. So Renato on the drive. Over Silva. Hollowell. Right to the basket. Straight line drive right by Renato. He couldn't do much about it. 13 points and counting for Hollowell.
Yeah, Minas is really controlling this game.
Euros tapped off the rim. Silva comes up with the rebound. Minas will run. Good defense and a great hustle play. Serenato will throw it down. Excuse me, that's Takasi who will throw it down. The easiest two of the night for him. Espinosa picks up the foul there as he tried to play a little coffin corner. 4th team foul here in this quarter. So no more fouls to give for Biguá with minute 14 remaining here in the third. Aranio. Silva couldn't handle the roll. Aranio got a hand to it. It's going to be a fresh 24 since it was a turnover. And that's a drive inside by Rodriguez. First two of the night for him.
I thought it looked like he dribbled, picked up the ball and dribbled again, but I guess maybe they just consider that him collecting the, it was a turnover, so could be mistaken.
Foul underneath as Ducati was getting held. Take a better look at it here. That was a good seal by Ducati, by the way. Montero will exit. Rodriguez picks up his first foul. No fouls to give either way. 43 seconds remaining in the period. Another turnover here for Biguá. It's turnover number 12 on the night. Excuse me, 11. Give them one more than they should have.
I think they may end up with it. They're trending towards a similar turnover night as they had last night. Unfortunately for them, their opponent this evening is shooting at a much better rate than Keemsa was.
Sure are. That's a good up fake and a good finish inside. This will be good. Nope. Did not get it off in time. As Aranio off the mark on that three-point attempt. Well, Minas is led by as many as 18 points. They take a 59-43 lead into the third quarter break. Look to move to 1-0 here in Group C action. ACL Americas. Here are your stats for the first 30 minutes of play. A poor shooting night for both of these teams. Biguá struggling from three-point range, just 11% from deep. They find themselves in a major hole against a team that is starting to find their sea legs here in Argentina. The best team in the Brazilian National League so far this season at 13-2, one game ahead of Flamengo. You see why. Andrew, I've been impressed so far with Minas through three quarters.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. We mentioned off air to start the game that some of the teams that we're familiar with from last year have changed their makeup a bit. So it's hard for me to rely on them playing the same type of basketball. And Minas is a team that I don't have as much experience in. So taking them just against this other team I've seen, I'm pretty impressed. They have some good pieces and have what seems to be a good team makeup where they've got pretty strong players at all levels.
For Biguá, it is important to close this fourth quarter strongly. Point difference does matter in these tournaments. And of course, the win is paramount, right? You want to get the win, but if you don't get a victory, you want to lose close. And right now, this spread not looking great for Biguá. They have to come up with a big fourth quarter here. Start of the fourth, Minas basketball up 59-43 over Biguá. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Carlin Gay alongside Andrew Hunt. Sitting in for Craig Fada. Craig should be back on the mic in due time. As the Basketball Champions League now on game day number 2. And it started off with a bang, and Minas providing the fireworks tonight. Machado chiseling his way inside. Tough move, Silva can't get it to go. That rebound is pulled down. Elovich. Now he'll take the 3. Trail 3. Can't get the bounce. Machado slows it down.
Yeah, the clock is your friend if you're Minas.
Yeah, no question. Almost like a American football team. Just run the ball until you get back on the bus with a victory. But if you're Biguá, you want to speed the tempo up a little bit here. Good two-man game action that time. A nice finish inside. Ducasi has had himself a decent game, or at least some moments. Here in this one, he's up to 8 points. Aranio for 3, can't get it to fall. A ball less touched by Hollowell will go the other way.
That last Biguá possession was a pretty good example of getting a pretty good look at a shot, having some good action, but not taking forever to do it. So, you know, those are the kind of possessions you want, but it's hard to get those every single time because it turns out there's another team out there that doesn't want you to score. So you have to deal with them.
When you're successful the way that they were on that last possession with that two-man game, why not run it back? Just keep doing it until they stop you. I went away from it that time.
Yeah, it's one of those things is you never know the dynamics of a team. You get some guys that, especially at your professional levels, you know, everybody can play in their own right. And so some guys see that and they kind of get inspired that, hey, I should make a shot now too. And it's been something that's a bit of a pet peeve of mine. I'm like, let the hot hand get some looks. It's not always me, you know. Of course, when I've got a hot hand, I really want it. But I'll give the ball up to whoever's shooting too.
Right. So that's a lock down the last jumper. Exactly 7 minutes to play. Let's take a look at who it went off of last. That's very close to Biguá basketball. I thought that would have been worth a little bit of a review if I was Biguá. You need possessions to get back into this basketball game.
Right. I agree wholeheartedly.
3 off the mark. A flat-footed rebound there by Hollowell. And it poked out of his hands. Still time for Minas here. Aranio dancing. That's a long 2. It's off. Strong rebound, Silva, and he hammers it. His first 2, and it's allowed 2. Second chance points, 11-8. Minas. This is Rodriguez, two-man game. Attacking. Tough layup. Biguá run that ball screen action. I mean,
yeah,
when
that's
Biguá
been
run
successful.
That ball screen action, it works. Yeah, it does. I'd like to see them go back to it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like you had said, if me personally, if something's working, I'm gonna run it till you stop it, and then I'm gonna do something else for one possession. I'm gonna come right back to it and say, hey, did you forget about this yet? Because that literally works. But
another opportunity right at the rim. Seminato on the cleanup, and that leads to a timeout for Minas. So how about Biguá showing some fight to close this game? By the way, still plenty of time left. 5:29 remaining in the game. Timeout Minas. You see their lead dwindling here down to 12.
Yeah, this is probably their last push here. If Biguá can't get things close.
Stay a prayer, ain't nobody praying for you. 'Cause if I want it, then it's mine, that's what I'm saying to you. If it's ain't hard, you better leave. You try and cross me, then you dead to me. 'Cause I'm in the business of making enemies. And there's a good chance that you may never leave. You feeling comfortable, you should never be. 'Cause I bring the pain if we should ever meet. Tonight, you should really find a lifeline. Outlaws come alive in the nighttime.
FIBA AmeriCup 2025 down in Nicaragua. Can't wait for it. The summer is jam-packed with basketball in the Americas. Meanwhile, we have somewhat of a game brewing here between Minas and Biguá. It looked like Minas was going to run away with this one, but Biguá has shown some fight over the last couple of minutes. And plenty of time left in this basketball game. 5:29 remaining. Biguá down 12.
Biguá really can't afford to stop this run they're on.
They come up with a steal to try and continue it. Paranos back into the game. He has 3 fouls. Rodriguez. There's the ball screen action. Biguá has been able to find open looks, and they're going to get 3 shots here as Ducasi was fouled by Paranos, who just came back into the game. Looked like he avoided
This is big
him,
because,
didn't it?
yeah, you got 3 shots right now. Clock stopped. You get a rest. You guys can talk about stuff a little bit while you're shooting. And, if they want to set up any kind of pressure or anything like that, I don't know that we're going to, at this level, see like a full court press. But just, kind of mention if we want to pester them up the floor or whatnot. I was going to mention, too, in this scenario or this situation when you're Biguá, I'm okay. I can't trade baskets all game. But if I trade baskets, that's all right because I'm still scoring. I want to keep scoring. Or if I miss a couple but play defense and keep them from scoring, that's good. But I just want pretty much every minute to be either a net gain or I can't have any net losses at this point.
Ducasi 1 of 3 on that trip. A missed opportunity to reduce this lead. Minas now under 5 minutes to play in this game. Machado turns the corner, snakes the dribble. Machado's fouled. He'll go to the line. Boy, you got to imagine Juan Ducasi wants those free throws back. An 80% free throw shooter in league play. He goes to the line and makes 1 of 3 free throws. That foul that time on Rodriguez will send Machado the charity stripe. He's perfect in lead play from the line. And not perfect here as he's off the mark.
I'd like to point out he'd already released the ball before he stated that. So you can't be held responsible.
Makes 1 and 2. I'm okay with it. He's the one that's got to make it. I just got to do my job. 12 points and counting for Machado.
You never just feel like a little bit bad? Maybe I did that? I mean, obviously you didn't. It's not your fault. It's ridiculous.
No,
but
I don't.
You ever just kind of maybe think maybe?
No, never. Make your free throws, kids. Foul in the lane as looked like Cunningham hit the deck. It was Cunningham. Zato picks up the foul.
Yeah, just make 100 free throws a day.
That's all you got to do.
It's a good start.
It is. If you can do it, everyone can. Why?
I agree. Yeah, they're free. I don't know if anybody told you that. But free throws, they're free. They just give them to you.
3 on the clock. Spate can't get it to go. Another opportunity. Spite will try again. It's 2 bad shots on that possession. Rosado leads the break. Barreling down the lane is Panaños. He'll go to the line for 2. You talked about Andre Spite being a little bit tunnel vision-ish in that first half, and you saw it on that possession there. There was really nothing going on. They got the fresh clock after the bad shot, and he did not look at anyone in a blue jersey or even dream about passing that basketball. It was going up. And another ill-advised shot, and that's possessions that you just can't have.
Well, and at this juncture, I'm not as upset about it because he's one of my players that I probably need to score in order to be successful. Just overall, not necessarily per game, but overall. So it's like, hey, I mean, we need some points. Go ahead, shoot a couple, I guess. Earlier, they were having a good flow of the offense, and he kind of, like I said, seemed like he's like, I could score, because he was doing other good things, getting people open. And at some point, when you're a scorer, you're like, hey, I'm tired of being the decoy here. Let me get a basket.
He averages 15 points per game in league play for Biguá. That's second on the team behind Josh Cunningham, who's also been quiet tonight. Rosado now up to 8 points after completing the old-fashioned three-point play. Here's Rodriguez. Did not play at all in the first half. Sparked a little bit here in this third quarter and fourth. His pass off the mark, and that's out of bounds. Ramos was standing out of bounds when he caught the ball. And Minas turned it over. 3:20 remaining in the game. Minas up by 14. By directing traffic. Wants to go one-on-one. Plenty of space to do so. That's a much better move, but can't get it to go. Just one of those nights.
That was one of those spots. I've got both Tavares and Cunningham back in the game. Just like you had said earlier, run that high screen roll action. Heck, if you want to bring them both up and run it to either side, and you can have one roll. If I go off of them, the other one pop. They just kind of did the 1-4 flat where everybody flattens out along the baseline and let Spike go at it.
Montero blowing right by Ducasi that time and laid it in. He's had a pretty good night at the office. And that's going to lead to a timeout for Biguá as Montero able to get the blow by and the leading scorer in this basketball game. Now up to 17 points and counting. 70-54 your score as Minas leads over Biguá. Biguá timeout.
At this juncture, the win is pretty much out of reach. So if you're Biguá, you're just what we mentioned earlier, trying to see if you can whittle down this this margin so you're not losing by so many points.
Yeah, point differential matters in all of these tournaments. Of course, they got the win just last night against the defending champions Kimsa on their home floor. But it was only a 2-point victory, so tonight it hurt real bad if all three teams end up leaving Argentina with a 1-1 record, which is very possible as Minas will take on Kimsa tomorrow night in Group C action.
If we see the Kimsa from last night and the Minas from tonight, Minas has no problem. That's definitely a challenge to Kimsa I'm sure they're watching this game and understanding that they're going to have to play better. Even without watching this game, they'll know that they'd have to play better than last night's game.
Well, one thing's for sure, they can't shoot 32% from the field and expect to win against anyone, including you and I.
That's tough. I appreciate that confidence in my abilities to still play.
I was just trying to talk myself into it as well.
Okay, all right. Well, if you believe in me, I'll believe in you, and then we could just take that back and forth and keep going.
We both have insurance. We'll be all right. Minute 35 remaining in the game. 3 on the way. That's off the mark. And it's going to go the other way, Biguá basketball. So perfect opportunity again for Biguá here to chip away at the point differential. You see Rodriguez sprinting up the floor. Here's that two-man game. It's been so successful when they've gone to it. Missed Tavares, who was open for 3 for a second. Rodriguez, good find. San Renato was all alone underneath the rim. He is 10.
That's an instance where the two-man game didn't result in anything for the two men in it, but somebody away from the play still got the basket. I don't even know if it was related to two-man game. I'm just one of those things I tell people I'm coaching. I was like, good things happen when you run it. Let's just do it.
It's be running it 40% of the game. They really went away from it when it was successful. That time they give it away. Three off the mark. Another offensive rebound. Rosado clears the floor. He wants to go to work on Rodriguez. Great skip pass. That's good ball movement by Minas. They can't get it to fall. Shot clock unplugged. Final seconds here. Renato on the float. And Biguá will take the timeout. Excuse me, that's Minas who will get some subs in here. Dead ball sub. 13-point advantage. Surely Minas will look to take a shot attempt here. Try to get this spread a little larger if they can. That's exactly what Biguá wanted. Exactly 5 seconds remaining in the game. And get this lead down to 10 with a 3. Good look. Off the mark. And that's how we end this game. Well, Minas, best team right now in Brazil. Start Basketball Champions League Americas 2025 on the right foot. A 13-point victory over Biguá. We'll get an opportunity to see the stats from tonight's matchup. Well, will now fall to 1-1 here in Group C. Minas will have to go back-to-back and play tomorrow night against the host Kimsa. Andrew, you've seen Biguá now play 2 games. They're 1-1. What stuck out to you so far from the only team in this tournament that has played 2 games?
Yeah, Biguá being 1-1. Really, the game they won was against the team that shot pretty poorly. They had the 16 turnovers in that game. They didn't play a great game themselves. So I'm still looking for them to kind of prove to me they seem to have the pieces that I'm not just counting them out. I think they're capable, but they're going to need to put it together a little bit better than what they have these first 2 nights. And there's time to do that.
Sure is. And very early in this BCLA, it's always good to get your. And Minas did just that tonight, a 13-point victory. If they bottle something up tonight and use it tomorrow in their game against Kimsa, what would that be?
Well, yeah, definitely having now seen all three teams play, Minas seems to be the best. And if they can just play a similar game defensively, like I say, yesterday, their opponent, Kimsa, the home team, um, played a worse game than Biguá did this evening. So Minas could even stand to do a little bit more poorly shooting and everything. And if they keep things good defensively, which is the one thing you can always control, I still think they have a chance at success against that team. But again, Kimsa being the defending champions, they've got some pride on the line along with trying to advance. So I don't expect them to have the kind of game they did yesterday.
Final score 73-60. Minas with the win over Biguá. For Andrew Hunt, I'm Carlin Gay. We will see you soon here from the BCLA 2025.
Hola Mauro, ¿me escuchás? Mauro, ¿me escuchás? Si subo la ganancia y me decís